What's up, guys? Welcome to the 12th and final episode of the Geroni Racing Vlog in 2023. Well, you guys read the title. This is the last one of the year. We are officially calling it a season. And, yeah, we'll see you guys in 2024. Cheers, much love, and shut up and do a burnout.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Who am I kidding? Alright, like I was really gonna do that. No, this is gonna be one of those episodes where we're gonna sit and talk and go over the year that was and talk about it and see what's next in 2024 and get you guys excited for that. And obviously, just salute everybody that's made this year possible. This year has been, for me, with racing, it's been a emotional roller coaster ride. It has definitely felt like a roller coaster ride. So many highs and lows throughout the year. But it was a really good year. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this year. And we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to just dive right into it. So let's take a look at some highlights and some fun moments that happened this year. So it is worth noting that while this year was a lot more action-packed with racing and stuff, when we get right down to the brass tacks of it all, when it comes down to match races and being in competition, our win-loss record this season was 7-2. I've never really paid much close attention to this stat in past seasons, but this is one that really, I figured this year would be the year to actually start paying attention to it. I know I was trying to keep a scorecard between myself and Bob Hill or Jimmy Danko, whoever was driving at the time. But I decided to throw that out and just say, you know what, I'm just going to look at this year as a general whole. 7 wins, 2 losses. Can't beat that. That's pretty solid if you ask me. The other thing that we looked at this year was our all-time best run for this season, which that number was a 684 at 194. How far off was that from our personal best? Yeah, you know it. You know how I feel about that. But really, I can't complain, though. That was with the 572 motor, and that was maybe 2 runs before it gave up the ghost at Maple Grove, and we found ourselves in our little lull over the summer where we had to rebuild the 540 and get ourselves back together. But from there, absolutely had a fun tear of testing and making passes everywhere from Cecil County back to Maple Grove Raceway to Island Dragway to MIR. And that was a fun little blitz of racing action that happened. There was so much activity that occurred during that time, and so much happened, there wasn't enough time to cover it all. But the vlog kind of took care of all that. So, but what we did learn is that the car was underpowered. We determined that by the time I got to Dead Man's Curve and started comparing data with a couple of other racing competitors that run similar combos to us, and determined that the engine was completely fine, though that is set up literally verbatim to when it went the 675 at 199. The taller rear end gear change that we made at the end of last season, that actually was doing the kind of proper changes that we wanted it to do. It just wasn't equating the way it should, so that leads us to believe, looking at the data, that we have a transmission issue. So that obviously needs to be refreshened. Any changes that need to be made is going to be specifically aimed in that area moving forward, along with the fact that by next year, we'll have our other motors back up and running. We're going to have the 572 rebuilt. We're talking about potentially even the 598, but all of that is up in the air. The 572 is a definite rebuild that we're going to work on this winter to have ready for next season. So, with all that being said, how do I feel about the season overall? Based on the win-loss record and what our personal numbers were and how well we did this year, it was a really good year. I mean, I can't really complain. You can't really hang your head low over that stuff and be bummed, but it was a fun year all around. Had an excellent time. I mean, ending the year at Burnouts for Bunny and Bear, qualifying 4th and making it to the semis. I don't think you could get any better than that unless you run 200 somewhere. But that was the thing. We had to call it a year because any other chance that we could possibly get, um, if you've been following the weather in this area, we've been getting a lot of rain, and we just said, you know what, the racetrack's always going to be there. We can just focus on 2024. The other cool thing that made this year be really awesome was, of course, this very vlog. Um, I know a lot of people were kind of like hit and miss with it in the very beginning. I wasn't sure how this was going to go in the first place, but I had a rough idea of what I wanted to accomplish, which was to appeal to an audience that enjoys drag racing, doesn't realize it's happening in their backyard, especially this kind of drag racing with match racing and nostalgia and the thrill show type events that people say you don't see many of those kind of shows anymore, when they're still happening. You just don't look, you're just looking in the wrong places. And I wanted to kind of do that in the same manner that, you know, YouTube channels like Cletus McFarland is doing with, you know, appealing to a younger crowd and that's learning about hot rodding and drag racing as a whole, and getting them to become, you know, make the audience be that much bigger, you know, reintroduce the sport to friends and fans that have long stepped away from the sport that now are starting to come back in again, and that has been working as well. Also, the positive reviews I've gotten from fellow racing competitors and their crew guys and their teams, the feedback I've gotten from them when they watch back the footage, the same way I look back at the footage and, you know, really study it and put it under a microscope in a way, has been absolutely humbling and super positive. I'm super thankful and grateful for their insight on this and saying, keep this up. I'm so glad I did this. I wish I had done this a lot sooner. It's just, you know, I'm just being me with all this stuff, so if I come off very sporadic with a lot of this stuff, it's because there's no script to this. This is the one time I'm actually going off of a script with all the notes I have for this particular episode. But yeah, everything else prior to this, you're getting raw results as it was happening. And I definitely plan to do this in 2024, no question about it. Been having a lot of fun with this. Starting to have a lot more fun with the Instagram reels that you start to see on Facebook and Instagram. I got a couple of really funny ones that I'm planning on working on throughout the winter months, just to kind of keep myself busy and to keep things hyped up. But yeah, keep an eye out for all that stuff. I'm really gonna have a lot of fun with some of the cool content that I've been making lately. So keep a lookout for that stuff. That brings us to, obviously, what are we going to do in 2024? What's next? What do we have to do? Well, right now we are doing our off-season checklist, making our grocery list of what new things we need to get, what things we need to work on, what needs to be sent out for recertifying or renewing, what needs to be rebuilt, what we need to stock up on as far as merch, and other goodies for you guys for next season. All that stuff, we'll obviously cover that stuff by the time we start this up next year. But things that we're obviously going to be working on, as I think I've said before, we're rebuilding the 572. All the parts came in for that one. We're going to start chipping away at that one throughout the winter, with the intent of having that motor back in the frame rails at the start of the season. We know that motor really did not get a chance to really prove itself. It was pretty stout as it was. We had gotten our best 60 foot time with that motor this past year at ACO. 0.973, I think, was our best 60 foot ever with the car, and it did that with this exact motor. Obviously, some other stuff that we're going to be working on, safety gear. Like I said, safety gear, this is our off season that a few things have to be sent out to be recertified, that we might have to get brand new or freshened back up. You know, seat belts, blower straps, and parachutes were starting to get really abused the last couple of events. All that's going to go out to DJ Safety out in California to be freshened up and spruced up and ready to go. The fire suit needs to go out to Stroud Safety. That's due for a recert as well. That needs a good cleaning. That's all we got as far as safety gear wise. The other important thing that has to happen is, of course, this is the once every 2 years that I have to get my license renewed, which means I have to go see a doctor, make sure I'm still medically cleared to keep driving. which means taking care of myself. This past off season, I really didn't get a chance to really kind of physically prepare, like work out and exercise. As you can see, look at how this whole vlog started. It started with something very depressing. And I kind of let myself loose on that. And I definitely want to get better at that. And, obviously, mental health is very important to me. So to sit down and talk to somebody is important. To keep exercising and keep my mind clear is also important. To continue eating healthy is super important to me as well. So all that stuff I have to take care of going into this off season. Already starting to work at it this week. Gonna dive into it a lot more after Halloween for sure. At that point, it's just guns a-blazing. Start exercising, eating healthy, and figuring out what stays in my diet, what goes. Stay that way for a few months, keep it going that way, and pass a physical. And we'll have our license up and ready to go for next season for another 2 more seasons. But also, I should mention that there's also this fun goal in 2024 that we're already talking about, and that is licensing. And I'm not saying about my existing license. I mean, we're talking about crossing over and adding a few things to my existing license as it is. That way I can run in more than one class on an off weekend. What those classes are, in those classes or cars in question, we're going to talk about that in 2024. We're going to pull the curtain back on that when the time comes. Lots of really cool things on the docket for 2024. Keep an eye out on a schedule around late February, early March. That's probably going to be when a good chunk of it will be ironed out at that point. Be ready for that kind of stuff. It's with this segue, fittingly, on the subject of racetracks, that we have to start thanking people, and I wanted to kick it off with the racetracks this time around, because it does not get said enough, especially in light of the amount of racetracks that closed down all across the country this year, ACO included, that I don't think we as racers and the teams and the people that work behind the scenes for these teams, that work in media and all this stuff, there is not enough thank yous in the world to say to the people that work at these racetracks, because they bust their ass off day in and day out, and I'm taking advantage of the time to tip my cap to them and say thank you for giving us a place to race, a safe and fun place to race, mind you, a place to put on an awesome show for the fans, which we'll get to you guys, and they have the hard job. They have to put up with a lot of crap when we show up. Even the bracket racers when they show up, even the spectators when they show up, they have to deal with so much stuff. It is not even funny. I have seen it firsthand. The kind of hard work that they have to go through, and for the keyboard jockeys that think they know what they're talking about, they don't even have the slightest clue what goes on at a racetrack, especially when these guys are working in the towers or working in the office all week long. They never get a chance to go home. So, and they bust their ass off to make sure we have a place to go to on the weekends. We can forget about our day jobs, forget about what's going on the internet, forget about the world. We're here to go fast, have fun, and have a good time and kick each other's asses, and and celebrate together. So to you guys, the guys that work at the tracks, my hat is off to you guys. Thank you guys for having us at your track, or at your racetracks, whether it's a nostalgia show or a thrill show, anything, you name it. We're thankful for being there and supporting your track and bringing spectators out as well to support you guys. The same goes with the promoters. The promoters did also put in the same amount of work as well. I look forward to doing more with you guys down the road. From here to our sponsors, Avanti Performance Products, Second Street Speed, the Gasket Goons Hot Rod Club. I'm bummed we didn't get a chance to go to their show this year. Both shows, the original date and the rain out date, got rained out. So I encourage to all of our friends and fans, keep a lookout on our page or theirs. More than likely theirs, because it'll go up there first. What their show date is going to be like in 2024, because this is a fun show. If you thought the footage from Dead Man's Curve over the course of 4 days was insane, Gasket Goons does it in one. And it is such a fun time. You'll understand why these guys are on the car and why they love supporting us. We love supporting them. It's a partnership I'm always proud of year after year, and always think highly of those guys. And cheers and much love to them. Right to Breathe, Racing Junk, Penn Grade 1. This was our first full year with all of them on the car. Obviously, some other regulars that have been with us for a good amount of time. RPM Data Loggers, Total Seal, DJ Safety, Alky Digger, the people that make this car happen, you know. These are people that we are constantly on the horn with, whether we need parts or pieces or anything that we need to be stocked up on. Same thing for 6B Apparel, the people that make our awesome t-shirts, our hoodies, our crew shirts. Shout out to them. We love doing business with them all the time. They make us look good. We give you guys some awesome products for our fans to purchase from us at the track or try to hook you guys up with during the off season. I know I've been neglecting to read all the stuff that's in the inbox of people that want to purchase a shirt. We're trying to come up with an easier way to get the shirts out to you guys so you guys can place the order, so it's not through DMs or anything like that. The bands, Stillcraft and Chelsea Lynn Meyer. Music has been just as much a part of my life as much as my racing career, and I love doing both. You know, as many times as people say, when you're ever going to make up your mind on which one you're going to do or which one you're going to stick with, I've gotten to a point where I have just refused to answer that question. I love putting on shows. I love being entertaining. I love creating. I love expressing myself with music and expressing myself through racing. And whenever I get a chance to merge the two together, I'm like a kid in a candy store. Without them, I wouldn't be here. I would not be here right now. I wouldn't be doing this, honestly. And finally, we get to the crew. Mike and Tina Judkins, been with us since day one, and Mike and Tina, thank you guys for dealing with this stuff. I know you're in the same boat as Mom and Dad with this stuff, which they are next. Mama and Papa G. I love you guys. You know, you guys brought me into this crazy stinking world and have been cheering me on and you know, allowing me to chase my dreams and follow them. And yeah. Now I'm gonna cry, damn it. But yeah, without them, this wouldn't exist, you know, and I wouldn't be here at all, you know. And I'm super thankful for them. I'm super thankful for their ability to be with me throughout all of this. And there's never a bad day at the track, you know. Especially without, if me going on a track without them would not be the same. So I thank them for their hard work. I thank Mike and Tina for their hard work and, you know, being right there with us as this stuff goes on. And a lot of my friends that have come out to races this year, that have offered to help and stuff in years past, you guys deserve just as much thanks and credit as the primary crew. Roy Nash is the kind of happy medium because he got to crew the one time when Mike wasn't around, and I'm hoping he gets to hang out a little bit more, and he's been adding a lot more tuning advice to me, and we've been able to collaborate with stuff as the season had gone on throughout this year, and stuff to think about as we go into this coming year. So with all that, the last people to thank, you guys. You guys are what make this YouTube channel be what it is, make this vlog series be what it is, make what I do possible. You guys are the reasons why I send it every freaking time I do the burnouts. You guys are the reasons why I go for the gusto on every run, you know? There's so many... I mean, I wish I could name specific fans, but it wouldn't be right. A lot of you guys are just rock stars to me. I mean, I'm just lucky enough to drive one of these things and do what I do. To have the kind of fan base and following that I have is mind-blowing. And I thank every one of you guys for riding with me through all the good times and the bad ones. And this year has been a true testament of that. And where you guys have all come from. There's all walks of life everywhere. It's amazing to me how this world, as crazy as it is, how awesome it is to see so many people from all over the place be supportive of this. You know, I have freaking fans in England walking around wearing my merchandise. A racing team in France is wearing my merch. People from Canada, Australia, Puerto Rico. Speaking in languages I don't even know how to speak yet. At all. And I have a passport and I plan to go travel the world a little bit and maybe go to a racetrack overseas to see what the racing culture is like elsewhere. I hope to meet them someday, you know, or I hope they come to the States to see this stuff in person whenever they're on vacation or whichever. Whether you're right in my backyard or you're on the other side of the globe, thank you. Just thank you. And just being awesome, you know? That's all I have to say. So, I think that is officially a wrap. So, I'm sorry I've kind of like been crying a little bit, or kind of eyes are a little moist and stuff, but that's how much this stuff means to me. That's how much this year meant. And I'm hoping the next year is obviously going to be so much better. What we got planned is going to be super exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to dive back into this in 2024. But of course, keep an eye out for when I do my reels and fun little posts and get creative during the winter months. I hope to stay active with you guys throughout this very lengthy quiet time we're about to go through between now and potentially around February. I think will be when we come out of hibernation a little bit, and we'll start to tip you guys to what else is happening and maybe start to pull the curtain back on what's to come. So stay tuned with all that, and obviously like and comment on this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, share. I cannot stress that enough. The more we can spread this out, the better. The more the merrier. I'd love to see all of you guys to come out to a race in 2024. Hopefully that's a New Year's resolution for some of you guys. So I think that's all I got. That is it. So have a safe holiday break, everybody, to all of our racing friends and people in the industry. Hope you guys have an awesome off season. I look forward to seeing you guys in the spring. Maybe I'll see you guys during the off season. Maybe we'll hang out a little bit. To the fans, I'll see you guys in the spring. And there's only one thing left to do. When you guys know what this part of the video means, we got to do this part one last time. Cheers, much love. Shut up and do a burnout. I'll see you guys in 2024, and let's go freaking 200 miles an hour next year. Let's do it. I will not rest till we freaking do it, okay? Let's freaking go. I love you all. Have a safe holiday season, and I will see you guys in 2024. Adios, guys. Love you all.